All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Fighting Fit Show. Today we have Faith McCourt with us. Faith has joined with us just shy of a year ago. So your joining date was November 2nd, 2023. Since then, Faith has lost 37.3 kilo. That's 82 pounds or 5.8 stone. Absolutely insane. Faith, welcome to the podcast. How are we feeling today?
Good, how are you?
I am doing well. I'm delighted to talk to you. You were all Christmas talking about for a period of time in our little daily huddles. We do this little meeting at around 12 o'clock every day, looking for wins. And every day it was Faith is smashing it again. See Faith, she's going amazing. How has your experience been working with us here at Fighting Fit?
Great, yeah, really well. I think the support and stuff from everyone at Fighting Fit has been great, and like the accountability and all has been perfect. Like,
What was it this time around that you kind of felt like, I really need to make a change here? Because obviously you were super active growing up.
yeah, so growing up I played a lot of like soccer, Gaelic, basketball. I played club and county for Gaelic for like 5-6 years. I played soccer for Dundalk, and then um when I went to college, I started working part-time. So I started working in the evenings and the weekends. So I sort of came away from football a bit, and I was sort of in and out of it for a while. And then yeah, so I wasn't really exercising. I started like going out a lot, like 2 or 3 nights a week. I was working at McDonald's, so I was eating like quite bad food all the time. So I started like putting on the weight in college, um and then yeah, I came away from football. So I wasn't really like, I was in and out of it a bit, but I couldn't really commit to it as much. And then when I finished college then 2 years ago, I started working full time, 9 to 5. So that's when I went back to football in October last year.
Okay, so you left college, started a different job working 9 to 5, came away from McDonald's, went back to football, and then you're like, okay, right, this is the start of me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just got really, really busy, and you're in a, let's say, a not ideal environment in terms of nutrition, because the temptation of
Yeah.
McDonald's is always going to be there.
Yeah, I like had really unhealthy habits for like 3-4 years. Like I all the time with the girls, like 2 or 3 times a week. I was eating really bad food. Like I was not exercising. Like it was quite bad.
Yeah, and so you've lost 37 kilo. Would you say over that 3 year period you gained 37 kilo?
Yeah, when I stopped playing the football, like I think from like when I was 18, and it's nearly like every year in college, I nearly gained more weight. Like it was so bad. Like, but yeah, I'd say I gained like quite a bit of weight, like a lot of weight. Like,
Yeah, and so would you say you were as lean as you were now or as light as you were now prior to starting college?
no, I'd say I was lighter, like
Even
go
lighter again. Okay, so not
because
quite
yeah,
back to your pre-college weight.
yeah. I was because I was playing a lot of football, like, and I was exercising a lot, and yeah, and that's where I sort of, when I joined Fighting Fit, that's where I sort of wanted to get back to him in my head, and I think I'm nearly there. I just need to lose like another stone or so, but a stone and a half, like, and I'll get there, like, but yeah.
Nothing to you at this stage.
I'm getting there.
And obviously losing the weight. So 37 kilo. It's absolutely no joke. 5 stone. I know, so nearly 6 stone. I know so many people that have 5, 6 stone to lose, and they're struggling with and they're battling with it. What was one of the struggles that you had, or like what was one of the hardest shifts that you had to make in your journey to lose the weight?
I think something I really struggled with was trying to balance like eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle with like social life and going out with friends and stuff like that. Just because, like, whenever you're eating healthy all the time, like you're exercising every day, you don't want to, be going out with the girls and like drinking and stuff like that, and like going out for food and stuff like that. I think that used to give me a lot of anxiety, like going out for food, because I'd always worry like, oh, what's on the menu, or like I couldn't track the calories. So that would be like, I used to dread that like a lot. But yeah, I think just sort of like trying to balance both of them.
And what was your solution? Because obviously that's actually a fairly common problem, I would say. Like, what was the fix for you, or did you just say no to the nights out? Did you have a strategy when you were going out? Did you just go out less frequently? What was the approach?
I would put myself in a lot of uncomfortable situations. I say I'd go like a lot of times, like on nights out, and just wouldn't drink, or like the amount of times I went around the McDonald's drive-through with the girls and just didn't get it, or like went to I'd go out for meals, but I'd always overestimate what I was eating. So, like, say I was eating like a salad or like a chicken something, and it was like I knew it was like probably like 600 or 700 calories. I'd count like 800 or 900 calories for that and be like, right, let's overestimate here, or like, yeah, just stuff like that.
That's a really, really good approach. So essentially, you were keeping up the social aspect of things, but keeping your calories and your protein and the rest kind of squared away with all your other meals and just abstaining.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That takes an awful lot of willpower. I know a lot of people that would love to be able to do that. You know, obviously not to put you in a box, but what makes you so mentally strong in those moments? Like what, like is it the vision of the weight? Is it the momentum of the good decisions? Like what was it that you're kind of holding on to? You're like, ah no, like I can't be ordering that cheeseburger.
I think it was when I joined Fighting Fit, I got such a big shock, and I think I never like weighed myself or took before photos or anything like that before. Like, I don't think I've ever weighed myself before I went to Fighting Fit, which is absolutely crazy because I never owned a weighing scales before. And like when I stood on the weighing scales, I was like, oh my god, this is really bad. And then I remember, I think I joined in November, and from November to January, there was like not really much progress. Like, I didn't really do much during that time at all. And then what happened was I think I felt really overwhelmed during that time. And I was like, right, I need to lose like 5 or 6 stone here. And I would get really overwhelmed and like self doubt myself. And then I remember in January being like, right, I'm gonna have to give this like 100%. And whenever I went at it, I was like, my whole mentality changed from like being overwhelmed and like stressed and like being like self doubt and yeah, to like being excited and all because I was actually working then in January when like I gave it 100% and it was like belief. And I remember just always saying to Chris in the gym, like, I'm so excited to be skinny because then it was like I'm actually believing that it's going to happen.
That's
But yeah,
amazing. That's really cool. Yeah. So you started. And just on that, what did you mean when started taking it seriously? Like, what was the first action step? Did that mean like starting to track your food? Did that mean starting to meal prep? What was taking it seriously looking like for you?
it was tracking my calories every day. It was like the day before I like so say it was like a Sunday night, I would like track what I was eating on the Monday and like writing down so that you couldn't like snack or anything like that, like making sure that you're actually eating that amount of food. Just tracking your calories properly and going to Fighting Fit every day because I was like going like once or twice a week or whatever to start if I wasn't fully committed to it. Yeah, and just getting out and exercising more, like get my steps in and like doing whatever I could to lose weight. Like,
And just out of curiosity as well, that period of time between November and January was the reason that you weren't successful. Do you think that it was because it was just genuinely an awful lot to take on board? Do you feel like maybe you weren't ready at the time, or do you think you just needed to kind of build up to it and work up to it?
I think I didn't believe that I could have done it, to be honest with you. I thought I was that overwhelmed at the start that I was like, I didn't realize how bad it was. And then when I realized, right, you have to lose like 6 or 7 stone here, like I get really, really overwhelmed and I'd be like, there's no way you're going to be able to do this. Like, this is going to take a lot of work. Like, and then I remember saying to myself in January, I was like, right, Fit, you're going to give yourself 1 month. And I did. I really didn't like going to Fighting Fit at the start. Like, I used to go and compare myself to other people all the time. And like, there was this time at the start when I was in the gym and I was doing dips and there was a girl beside me and she was doing dips and she was like way older than me and she was flying and I was using the resistance bands like struggling and I was like, this is so embarrassing, like I'm never coming back. But like 5 or 10 minutes went on and we started talking and she was like, um she says to me, oh, how long are you here, are you only new? And I was like, yeah, I only started like a month or two ago. And I was like, how about you? And she was like, oh, I'm here 3 years. And I think as well that put into perspective for me. I was like, if I'm going to compare myself to someone who's here 3 years, I'm obviously going to feel like shit, that sort of way. But yeah, it was just sort of like getting into it then and being like, right, it was nearly like it was like my last option because I tried gyms and stuff like that before and I hated it. And then I was like, right, I need to give it like 100%. Like,
Interesting. And what was your traditional gym experience that you had?
I really didn't like it. Like for a full year before I joined Fighting Fit, I was like trying to lose weight, but not fully trying to lose weight, if you know what I mean. Like I was joining the gym, I'd go for like a month or two, I'd quit, I'd join a different gym. I tried one-to-one PT with my friend and she quit, so then I quit. So like it wasn't like it wasn't like 100%. But yeah, I didn't
And
love it.
what was it again? Just that made what was it that made this experience different than a gym? Just out of curiosity.
I think the group PTs are really good. Like the fact that you can go in, you don't have to think about it. It's like 40, 45 minutes, you're done. And as well, it suited me so well because beforehand I was like really sporty and stuff. So I was like, the fact that it's a group suits me perfect. Like rather than it being one to one, that was too intense for me. Like that wasn't what I wanted. And yeah, the group PT really helped. Like,
Excellent. So very, very interesting as well. You said earlier on, you said that one of the things that made it really spurred you on was kind of speaking it. You're like, oh, I can't wait till I'm skinny. Like just kind of stepping
yeah,
into that identity. That's massively important and hugely
mhm,
psychologically relevant for again like identity forming behavior. Like if you want to change your behavior, you have to believe that that's who you are. As I said, like if you're drinking every weekend and going out every weekend and you see yourself as a party girl, it's not until you start seeing yourself like somebody else. Oh, I'm an athlete. And obviously you having that experience of training with a football team for years and obviously competing for years, maybe it was not easier, but maybe it felt very genuine to step into the athlete's identity. Would that be somewhere in the right ballpark?
yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, it was just sort of like nearly getting back to where I was before. Do you know that sort of way? And like when I went back to football as well, I got a massive shock because growing up, I loved football and that's all like I loved doing. And then it was like nearly being as scared as well that I wasn't ever going to get back there, like be able to actually play. And before I joined Fighting Fit, it was like it looked very much like I was on the full forward line. People just passed the ball into me and I'd just score. And that was like my only addition to the game. As in now it's like I'm playing midfield, I'm playing half forward, like I'm able to get up and back and like before, like, I didn't think I'd ever get back there. Do you know that sort of way? And it's like feeling like a child again because you're like feeling like you were years ago when you'd played. Do you know that sort of way? But yeah,
That's
that's
amazing. That's
great.
really good to hear. Because obviously this is it. This is why we do it. Well, especially
Mhm.
if you're an athlete and you've stepped away from it. One of the reasons why you train and get conditioned is so you can perform at your sport. But again, like one of the things I thought was very interesting there, like you're absolutely lighting up and smiling and describing yourself like a child, like again, like really full of joy. Like that's one of the
Yeah.
things that fitness can bring to you if you do get passionate about it. And it's one of the reasons why I would advise everybody to do some kind of exercise that they enjoy, because when you enjoy it, really does like make it something that makes you happy and becomes every level of fitness or every bit of extra strength you can kind of put towards your passion and that energy and fuel that you get from your training by performing your sport and getting that positive feedback. Especially, I can imagine, being part of a team and everybody cheered, you scored a goal, just unbelievable run there, fair play to you. So yeah, it is. That's what it's all about, and I'm sure 37 kilo feels a lot. I'm sure you feel a lot whippier up and down the field now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
And were there any kind of particular um, tactics that you use to kind of stay motivated? Obviously, the scales don't always go down. Obviously, maybe sometimes you fell away from the plan in terms of nutrition. Like, what was it that you would do to overcome any kind of slow burns of fat or any just kind of plateaus? Any tactics that you have? Any mental strategies you have for somebody looking at the scales right now and it's just not moving? It's not been dropping for the last 2 weeks.
I think at the start I really struggled with that because especially like, I would weigh myself every 2 weeks, and Chris was always like, "Oh, you need to weigh yourself every week or whatever," and I was like, "No, no, that's way too much for me, like, I'll just weigh myself every 2 weeks," because I'd have to nearly, like, mentally prepare myself to drive on a Saturday mornings Fighting Fit to, like, weigh myself because I used to be like I knew if it was down, I'd have a shit Saturday, like, that was me, like, pissed
It was
off for the
up.
day sort of thing, like, yeah, if it was up, sorry. But, yeah, so I had to sort of, like I'd start and I've gotten a lot better with it. Like now I weigh myself twice a week, and it's like even just knowing more about it, like so much things like impact like your weight and stuff like that. Like so you have to just sort of be like not as hard on yourself. But yeah, I've definitely gotten a lot better with like weighing myself and stuff like that. Like now I weigh myself twice a week, and it's not as a big deal as it was before.
Mm.
Um,
And
but
how has the conversation around the scales changed for you? Like what did the old conversation used to sound like when the weight was up versus how do you kind of talk to yourself now?
I think I'd just be like in my own head too much, being like, oh, like it's never going to come off and stuff like that. But then I just start believing yourself. It's like, right, you're going to do better more. But also reflect on that week and be like, well, why isn't it down? Do you know, that sort of way? And like, then you can sort of like look at where you went wrong and stuff like that. And whenever you're tracking your food as well, I do it in the notes of my phone, so I can be like, right, well, Saturday I didn't have a good day. Like, do you know, that sort of way? Like, and it's funny because I used to associate like days of the week with like food nearly. It'd be like, oh, like in a Saturday, like you get a takeaway, or like a Sunday you go for a coffee. But now that's all like out the window, no matter what day it is. Like you sort of have to make sure you're exercising and like eating healthy and stuff like that. But I think, yeah, it's just like knowing once you've done like 100% that week, then the anxiety sort of comes away from weighing yourself, because you're like, right, well, I tried my best. Like, do you know, that sort of way? And then it normally is down. Like, you sort of know before you even go and weigh yourself that it's going to be down. Do you know, that sort of way?
That's a great point. Exactly. That's something that I definitely do with my weight loss phase, is that if I'm trying to lose weight, it's either I did it or I didn't. It's I know what the
Mm,
numbers are. So first thing for me is getting square with the numbers. You know what the numbers are. Once you know what the numbers are, then it's a case of right, going back and going, did I track and follow the numbers to the letter? And if I did then and the way it was up, it's like, well, it has to be something else. It can't be me. You can't be the body fat, because I was
yeah,
definitely a deficit this week. So,
yeah,
must be something else. By process of elimination and by faith in my works and by faith of doing it, it's like,
yeah.
well, what else can it be?
Yeah, a lot of people I think as well overcomplicate it. Like a lot of people say to me, "Oh, like what's your secret and stuff?" But I think it's just like once you're exercising every day, and like I'd exercise like 2 or 3 times a day, just because of like my schedule and stuff. But like once you're exercising every day and you're eating healthy, like your weight's gonna fall off you. Like you have to trust the process as well. I think at the start I was doing all this and I was like, "Oh no, it's definitely not gonna be down. It's definitely not gonna be down." I go and weigh myself and it be down. So it's sort of like believing in yourself as well. That like once you put the work in, like the results will come.
Well, I feel like what you said there was a little bit of like the opposite of what you said. It's like it doesn't even matter if you believe in yourself, because even as like
Mhm.
you're like, oh, it's not going to be down. I did all the work. It's not even going to be down. It's like, well, listen, just do it and fucking see how it goes. You know, that's the
Yeah,
way. It's like, listen,
yeah,
even if you don't believe in yourself, just bloody get it done
yeah,
and see how it goes. Even if you don't, just work blindly, do your
mhm,
coach says, follow the numbers to the letter, and it will come right. I think is
yeah,
massively important too. Like I said, listen, never mind the conversation in your head. If you can just get the work done, you'll get the result. And
mm,
then after that, then you'll start to develop trust and faith in the process. As I said, like trust is something that you kind of have to expose yourself uh, to losing if you really want to gain trust. Like it's very easy to trust in a win-win situation, but if it's kind of like it's like, oh well, I'm not really sure. Okay, now we're acting in faith. Now we're acting in trust, and obviously, again, that's what the reviews on Facebook are for. Like, hopefully, when
yeah,
people go to Fighting Fit and they go, okay, does it work? Right, gold star reviews the whole way through. Okay, fingers crossed. There's some proof of concept here. Again, that's what these podcasts are for, so people can hear it bloody works. If you just follow the plan, it bloody works. That's again one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on. It's like, hey, Faith, remember you didn't think it would work. Didn't it work? Didn't it? You're like, yes, it worked. I did what I was told. Um, Another thing that I would ask is, what did like? Obviously, you've had your fighting fit coaches. Did you have any other accountability support systems, or was there any family network or friends that you found particularly useful during your weight loss phase? Like, what forms of accountability and support did you have during your weight loss period?
Um, not really much, to be honest with you. I think I did this whole thing on my own sort of thing, but the girls and stuff have been great, and Jamie, my boyfriend, has been great as well. Like if I needed to get steps in and all, they'd be like, "Oh, I'll go for a walk with you," or stuff like that. And that has been really helpful. But I remember like in the past, I'd always like join a gym or something like that with one of the girls. And if they stop, I'd stop. So it was like this time, it was like I sort of had to do it on my own. And I remember
Yeah.
I was down in Fighting Fit. I was texting the girls, being like, "Does anyone want to join with me?" And they were like, "Not a chance. Like you're on your own. That's way too intense for me." Like, and I was like, "Well, it's intense for me too, but I'm still going to have to give it a go." Like, but yeah, I think like they're like buzzing and all and like hyping me up and stuff, but they're very like you're doing that on your own sort of thing. But yeah.
I feel like as much accountability as you can get is
Mm,
fantastic. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's a personal journey, really, isn't it?
mhm,
You close your door at the end of
mhm,
the day, it's only you and the cupboard there. So I mean, it is a decision between you and you. Like when you're there in the car and you're with all the gals and you're in McDonald's, is like, listen, the only person stopping you from ordering the McDonald's is yourself. And so fair play to you for having that willpower and discipline to make the right decisions and push yourself in the right direction. That's incredible.
Yeah, I think just because me and the girls are really close, like, but we'd always like spend a lot of time together, like, so sort of like I sort of had to make that choice because I like get FOMO if I was missing out, so I'd always just go and sort of like bring it down to like we're not on the same journey and stuff like that, and that would always help with my decision, that sort of way. And like whenever I was like working out and stuff for the full week, I wouldn't want to like eat bad either, like, so that also like played a factor in it as well.
Yeah, having that little bit of leverage, it's like I've already done X, Y, and Z. I don't want to have all
Yeah,
that intense effort go to waste. Let's say.
yeah.
Yeah, and so then, what you said, you're quite active, obviously. So you're doing the fighting fit sessions. You're doing 3-4 sessions a week. What are kind of other training were you doing on a weekly basis to kind of stay active and burn calories?
I was doing bike row ski. I go there like once or twice a week. Do soccer, do Gaelic. Gaelic's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Soccer is like some Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sunday mornings, and then bike row ski Saturday and Sunday mornings, depends. Tomorrow morning I'm going to bike row ski as well. So it's a bit like, yeah, it's a bit full
Hold
on.
on.
Yeah.
And just out of curiosity, like, what were your calories for this period? Because obviously you're doing like 18 training sessions a week. Like, what's the Pete, give us a pause here. Thanks, Chris. Mid podcast. Good man yourself. Sorry. Pause. Unbelievable, Pete. Pause. Podcast. Why not pause? Because you're a fool. Get out. Yeah. So yeah, obviously, so you're doing like 18 sessions a week. You're super active. What was your calorie target? Out of curiosity.
Like 1400. Um yeah, I would like I was doing it into my fasting, like, so I would whenever I joined, it wasn't like I wasn't joining and then it was like I'm going to start into my fast, and I sort of fell into it because at the start I was like I'm going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm going to eat smaller portions, and I'm going to eat more frequently. And then I was eating for breakfast and I wasn't hungry, and I didn't like the idea of eating and not being hungry, so I was like, I'll do the into my fast. And as I looked into it, it was like doing the 3 weeks on, 1 week off, and then like breaking your fast with protein. So that's always what sort of worked for me. But then you're eating from like 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So you have to make sure like, you're getting enough calories in and stuff like that. But yeah, like 1400 calories.
That's
Like,
insane. That is absolutely insane. But obviously, like, listen, it worked for you, and
yeah.
this is one of the things about it is like, you know, I know people who would eat that and really, really struggle, but
Yeah.
everybody's different, and I'm sure you didn't find that to be an easy number to hit when you initially started.
No,
Um,
definitely not.
but you
But
adapt
definitely got easier. Yeah, it
big
does.
time. And one of the cool things about it is like if you do the maths, you know, 37 kilo, is probably, what did I say, 82 pounds thereabouts. And so there's 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. So anybody with a calculator on hand, I mean, feel free to crunch those numbers. Like, that's a lot of calories. And so people say, it's like, well, how did you live on 1,400 calories? How did you live on 1,600 calories? I'm sure you weren't always on 1,600 calories. I'm sure there was periods of times that maybe you increased calories, had a little bit of a rest and a diet break. But I mean, all the extra calories are coming from fat. So, even though you're not intaking that many calories, like, your body's still breaking down the fuel and getting what it needs from fat, because that is exactly what fat is. Fat is your stored energy.
Yeah. I think I was on like around 1200 calories, and then I did up it because I started feeling like lightheaded and stuff like that. And then when I upped it, then I started feeling a bit better. So I just sort of stuck there for a while.
What did you up it to then?
Like 1600 from like
What were you,
1200.
from 1,200?
Yeah.
You're nuts. And I can't imagine that Chris recommended 1,200 calories from the jump.
No, no, he didn't. It was
What
just all
what
on me.
what did Chris recommend, just out of curiosity?
I think like 1600.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I would assume at
Yeah,
minimum 1,600.
I think in that, yeah.
Yeah, especially for somebody as bloody active as you. But listen, that's why you got such phenomenal results in such a short period of time. Most people could do 1,800 calories and maybe still lose 24, 26 kilo in that period of time. But you're not okay with settling for less.
Yeah, it's a bit weird as well though. Whenever you start eating like good, you're like, how did I ever eat like 2,000, 3,000 calories a day? Like, how did I get so big? Do you know what I'm saying? But obviously, the nice food is more calories. But like, whenever you start eating healthy, like it's like, how did I ever start like eating like 2,300 calories, like whatever it was. But
Yeah, well, one thing I would say, one approach is grazing. You know, it's like it's very easy to eat 3,000 calories if you start at 7 a.m. and finish at 2 a.m. You know, that sort of way. It's like
Mhm.
just eating constantly throughout the day, eating calorie dense food. 100% it's easy to rack up. The other thing is like if you take a burger, like let's say you take, you got a lettuce, turkey, light
Mhm.
cheese, light mayo burger versus a double cheeseburger with a brioche bun and loads of mayo on there. It's like, even though the portion is the same, near enough, is like the calories are just night and day. And so, definitely some uh, alternative options in terms of food choices, I'm sure really made the difference in keeping you full on 14 to 1600 calories. Even though you're probably eating an awful lot of food or hopefully eating large portions of food, the calories are quite small.
Mhm. Yeah.
Big time. I'm so bloody impressed with your results. Like it's really insane, and your willpower and your discipline and your adherence to a fairly low amount of calories is bloody incredible. Um, what's the biggest changes? Like obviously chatting about kind of nutrition and calories. What are the actual meal decisions? Like what did change? What does an average day of eating look like for you now in terms of breakfast, lunch, dinner? Or you already kind of talked about intermittent fast in terms of structure. Are you eating 3 meals a day? How are you breaking it down?
Yeah, so I eat at 1 o'clock, and that looks like 2 boiled eggs and 2 bacon medallions, and then I eat at, and then I eat at, like, 4 o'clock, and that'll be, like, maybe, like, a protein bar or, like it just depends, like, maybe, like, a nude food, and then I'll have my dinner at, like, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. It depends on what my day looks like, but I'll have, chicken fillet and 2 corn on the cob, or 2 turkey burgers and 2 corn on the cob. I have basically the same stuff every day, but, like, I just switch it.
Brilliant. And what about meal prep? Obviously, it doesn't sound too high maintenance, so no meal prep really required.
No. No, I don't really like cooking at all, like, to be honest with you, so anything that I can, like, throw in the air fryer and, like, walk away for, like, 20 minutes to half an hour and come back and it's ready, like, that suits me perfect. But, yeah, I sorta eat sorta the same food all the time, but it's just sorta like it's either, like, a chicken fillet and 2 corn on the cob or 2 turkey burgers and 2 corn on the cob, like, it doesn't really change, but, um, yeah, or, like, nude foods are good as well because you can just heat them up and they're ready, like.
Fighting fit now available in the Fighting Fit shop. And so, just out of curiosity, then, like, have you thought about your post weight loss dieting strategy and kind of how you're going to change things up? Like, how many calories you're going to add, or like, are you going to keep the same kind of meals, just bigger portion, just add some bread, or like, have you given it any consideration yet?
Well, I'm still trying to lose weight, so once I lose the stone and a half, then I'll probably have to up my calories a wee bit because I want to start building upper body muscle, upper strength, whatever it's called. But yeah, so I'll probably have to up my calories then. But at the minute I'm still on like 1,400 calories, so just sort of the same.
Interesting. And just out of curiosity, I know you kind of already covered it briefly. Like your dinner is, one of two things. Do you have like a favorite diet and food, like a meal? Like what do you look forward to the most, if any?
A chicken fillet and 2 corn on the cob, but
That's
with 2 tablespoon of Nando's peri peri sauce.
okay. Nice. Yeah, yeah, good. And so, for anybody it's not familiar, I'm sure most people probably are. Like those marinades are pretty low calories. Like it's
Yeah.
it's pretty much
1
vinegar,
tablespoon is like
vinegar and
30,
spices.
yeah. It's like 30 calories in 1 tablespoon or something like that, so it's not too bad, like, but
Not too bad. There's nothing in it.
yeah, no.
Yeah, cool, brilliant. That's excellent. And then what about snacks? Go to snacks. If you want to stay on track, you want to have a snack. What are you going for?
Like a protein bar,
What do you like?
the caramel one.
Fulfill.
Yeah, fulfill.
That's pretty tasty. That's a good choice. What about cheat meal? Have like obviously in the last year, surely you've had some cheat meals in there. Surely you've stepped away from the 1,400 calories. What's your kind of go-to cheat meal?
Like a Nando's, no gelato.
Nice. like
Vintage.
together.
Perfect combination.
Pretty decent. That's pretty cool. Uh, Nando's to roast them out, a bit of ice cream and new gelato to cool it off.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good combination. And then, what about supplements? Are you taking any supplements at the minute? What's your supplement protocol? Are you a whey protein kind of gal? Do you take caffeine, creatine, any of that?
No, I've actually never took any supplements before. I've never actually looked into it enough to like know what to take or anything like that. But no, I've never took anything before.
Cool. So the three, well, well, one. So the combination or the protocol that I would recommend that are effective. One is obviously just whey protein, and the reason that works is it's just a macronutrient. Protein's a macronutrient. If you're not getting enough of it, supplement. So you're just getting 20 grams of protein, 25 grams of protein per scoop. The next one is caffeine. So obviously, you don't drink coffee, don't
Oh,
drink.
I do. Yeah, I drink coffee. Yeah.
Cool. So do you ever use it as a workout something? You drink coffee before your workouts, give you extra gear?
No, not really.
It is
Oh, so-
a. It has been researched and it does have some benefits because obviously you just stay a little more alert, maybe push a little bit harder in your workout. So that's something that is at least interesting. And then the last one, which is creatine, which is probably one of the most well researched supplements out there for performance, shy of taking anabolic drugs. You know, creatine is basically just a fuel source. Is going to give you creatine phosphate, and creatine phosphate helps you use your most explosive energy system. So really briefly, there's three energy systems. One, which is your fat burning system. I'm sure you've heard of people saying, oh, go for walks, it's the best fat burning exercise that you could do because of the percentage of fat that you're burning. Realistically, I think that it all just comes down to total energy in and out at the end of the day. But they are right in the sense that the main fuel source used for low intensity activity is fat. For slightly more intense exercise like jogging or running or doing push-ups or any kind of steady state but moderately intense activity, you're going to use sugar. And then for the most intense kind of explosive energy system you have, which is like, all right, the goal's open, you've got the ball, sprint, or Jesus, our goals are open, someone get back and defend, we've got to get out of movement you can get in the next 4 to 9 seconds before you hit that first wall. That's your creatine phosphate energy system. And so creatine just helps you refuel that. And so by staying fully saturated with that, it can help you perform more explosive bouts of exercise more regularly and also recover for them and have them available again more regularly. Creatine is available at the Fine Fit Shop. No, but real talk though, it's really, really cheap and really beneficial, and it's something I'd recommend most people to take. And there's some strong research to suggest that it's really good for overall brain health as well. So definitely something I would recommend looking into, at least for yourself.
Yeah, I must look into it.
It's cool. As we talked about your social life, so you're kind of you're a no to any fun when you're dieting kind of gal. You'll go and have the crack, but you're not partaking in any caloric activities, let's say.
Yeah.
Class. That's a really, really good approach for fat loss. And do you periodically schedule in breaks? Like, are you like, oh, listen, I've got an event in 4 weeks. I'm gonna be good for 4 weeks, and I'm gonna kind of enjoy that, or have you just written off the year?
Yeah, I've just sort of like written off the year sort of thing. I just want to get down to my goal weight, and then once I get down there, then I can sort of like have a bit more fun. Like, but yeah, it's sort of like just staying on track until I get there.
That's amazing. You're an absolute legend, and you're also quick plug again. We're doing the white collar event. You've signed up,
Yes.
done a few sessions under the belt.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Good, good. Excited.
Yeah. And did you ever
Never,
think you'd do white collar before? Was that kind of something on your bucket list?
never, never. And even when you mentioned it to me, I was like, no way. Like, but I think like as you go and you get into it, like it's not that bad. Like I think the thought of it is nearly worse. But yeah, no, it's exciting. I'm learning loads.
Eddie, so yeah, you're gonna be a hell of a fight to watch when we get your fight. Yeah, boxing's an amazing sport. As anybody with a competitive drive in them, I would definitely recommend giving it a go because it's a fantastic place for that competitive drive.
Mhm.
Maybe not something I'd recommend to most people long term. Just getting punched in the head, it's probably not the
Yeah.
best for you long term. But every once in a
Not
while, I
looking
feel like
forward to that.
what is that?
I'm not looking forward to that bit.
Yeah, no, nobody wants to get punched in the face, but everybody seems to have a little bit of an urge to punch somebody in the face. I
Yeah.
think that's the trade-off, isn't it?
Sounds better, yeah.
Exactly. Right, cool. So we're nearly there. One fun question that I like to ask everybody: what is your favorite workout song? And as a thank you for jumping on the podcast, we'll throw it onto the playlist.
Probably something Doja Cat, maybe Paint Town Red.
Is this a high intensity workout song?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not up to date with my Doja Cat album and songs.
I was going to say Taylor Swift, but Chris just wouldn't play it. Like,
If you get a good high intensity remix, you might.
no, we'll go with Doja.
Cool, deadly. All right, Faith, thanks so much. Last question before we shoot off is, if there's somebody out there and they're in a position you were before you started 12 months ago, not necessarily with Fighting Fit, but just your fat loss phase and your mental and attitude change, like, what advice would you have for somebody that wants to get started and just don't have the confidence right now?
Probably set a goal and work towards it, like something to work towards, and like break it right down, and yeah, just give it 100%. Try your best.
Yeah. So pick a big goal, break it down into bite-sized achievable chunks, and then just fucking go for it.
Yeah.
Take some action.
Definitely.
Faith, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence here on the Fighting Fit show. We really, really appreciate it, guys. For anybody listening, if you liked it, make sure you like us on YouTube, follow the channel, follow us on Spotify, follow us on all the socials. Check us out if you like this kind of stuff. We've got lots of podcasts. We've got some previous episodes that you maybe haven't listened to. We've got more coming down the road. And we've got lots in the backlog of me and the lads chatting all things health and fitness. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.